Hello, and welcome to 10 Things to Know About Design and Urban Development. Design is integrated into every part of the world. One way that it impacts all of us is through the way that urban areas have been designed. Design thinking has shaped the way that urban areas have been developed, and continuous learning from urban planners allows for design thinking to rethink the way that we are utilizing urban spaces in the future. Through this presentation, I will explore 10 ways that design is integrated into urban development through public space, technology, health, well-being, and equity to explore the specific design decisions that impact the daily lives of those in urban spaces. Design and urban development intersect first and foremost with public space. This includes sidewalks, parks, plazas, playgrounds, and public buildings. The designs of these public spaces are crucial for them to be truly accessible, safe, and aesthetically pleasing. Public spaces can effectively create a third space, which is a place that people can gather outside their homes or work for social interaction and community building. An example of this use of public space as a third space is people coming together for yoga classes at Park City in South Boston. Yoga instructor Sarah Mangelson talks about how important these types of gatherings are to have people come together and connect in their communities. The design of architecture in urban development is crucial for a number of different reasons. The architectural designs in urban areas impact the spatial layout for a city. These decisions lead to the walkability of a city, the number of public spaces, the resilience of a community, and its climate regulation. Not only is it important to understand how each building is designed, but also how it interacts with its surroundings. Another way that architectural design impacts urban development is through its style and materialistic choices. These decisions shape the identity and feelings of a community. For example, in an article by Annie Pearson, she explains how there are even different stylistic choices within one city. A relevant example is Boston, Massachusetts, has buildings with Queen Anne style, as seen on the bottom left, and other in a federal style, as seen in the bottom right. So, although different, the material choices and design reflect the history of the community. Finally, enclosures are important for creating public green space in highly urban areas, particularly in housing communities. The design of different transportation methods is critical for urban development. We can think about the idea of transportation in several subsections: foot traffic, cars, public transportation, and physical activity. Communities do not all have the infrastructure designed to accommodate all of these methods of transportation equally. According to an article in Forbes, for decades, areas were developed to prioritize the automobile. The urban sprawl of people across the U.S. was driven by the automobile being accessible and infrastructure being invested in by President Eisenhower. The automobile is ingrained as a method of transportation for the American consumer, and it takes extensive urban development and transportation specialists to redesign urban areas around people instead. This can be done through bolstering public transportation in the United States, since we have some of the weakest infrastructure for public transportation in a developed country. Adding another form of transportation like electric bikes and scooters with infrastructure like safe bike lanes can help move away from the car-centric transportation in urban areas as well. Continuing to keep sidewalks and footpaths clean and accessible can encourage walking. Design thinking impacts sustainability in urban development. Thinking about how we can integrate sustainability practices like renewable energy sources and using clean energy alternatives can make cities more sustainable. Another crucial part of sustainability in urban areas is the integration of the living and non-living world. The term biophilia, or the greening of cities, is essential to livability because we currently have more concrete than biomass in the world. Designing parks, plants, and buildings to have more greenery can combat this issue. Here you can see the different design options like roof gardens, atriums, and sunken patios as options in urban spaces. A more specific case study in 2016, we see Colombia's second largest city use marginal spaces in urban areas like walls, fringes, and verges. They were able to plant over 880,000 trees and 2.5 million small plants to reduce pollution and decrease the temperature by 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Not only did this combat environmental issues of overheating and pollution, but it also increased people's well-being and created new jobs. Health and well-being is of the utmost importance in urban areas. Looking forward, around 70% of the population will be living in cities in 2050. With this migration into urban areas, there are health concerns as diseases like cardiovascular disease, Cancer and respiratory disease and diabetes are the leading causes of death globally. Design thinking can help us mitigate risks by developing cities to promote healthier living as the default. This is seen through designing systems to keep cities clean, like recycling and other waste management systems. Designing cities to be walkable and have safe cycling paths to promote movement, which is seen to have decreased obesity levels in areas where this exists. Designing spaces with a focus on nature not only improves air quality, but further promotes physical activity, reduces stress, and enables social interactions in these areas. Being around nature is also proven to alleviate mental health disorders, as well as having higher levels of social interaction in these spaces. Technology has changed the way in which we gather information, optimize systems, and share information. The Internet of Things has been designed into urban areas through cameras, sensors, and gadgets, and gives us insight into systems that we had never had before. Technology is allowing designers to use AI and VR to help visualize projects. Other optimized systems like autonomous vehicles, electric scooters, and ride-sharing platforms lead to interconnected and smarter cities. Information is shared more rapidly than ever through technologies in urban areas. We are seeing an uptick in digital billboards, kiosks, and apps that share information and increase this connectivity. Equity and inclusion in urban development come from the ability to design spaces that consider all groups of people. A major hindrance to urban areas is their inequities, or the fact that based on an individual's physical or mental abilities, they have less access in an urban space. For an urban area to be equitable for all people, it needs to follow universal design practices that create access for all ages and abilities. Individuals should feel comfortable and confident in navigating urban areas to be a part of the community engagements and offerings. A case study from Oradell, New Jersey highlights that poor sidewalk conditions impacted the quality of life for disabled individuals in the community. This led to an initiative called Project Sidewalk, which was a digital tool to help map and audit the conditions of sidewalks in the community. This is just one example that draws attention to the importance of making equitable changes in public spaces to ensure that it is accessible for all moving forward, and how we can take action before systemic change is made. On a similar note, urban areas should be designed to be inclusive. Individuals in these areas should feel as though they are reflected in the spaces around them. This means having diverse groups of people represented in events and community engagement initiatives. This helps people feel as though they are in a place of belonging and improves their overall happiness and well-being. Cultural identity is interwoven into urban design and development through two main aspects. The first is art. Artwork can transform an urban area through reflections of cultural identity in those spaces. Adding artwork that reflects the constituents of an area can add beauty to those areas and help people feel connected to their community. For instance, consider this mural created by Matt Adante in 2018. He created this mural on a 20-story building with portraits of the residents within the building. It is a piece that symbolizes the unity of different people coming together. Murals, sculptures, and other pieces can do this as well. Another urban design aspect is the integration of traditions and heritage. These considerations can make urban spaces feel more welcoming to diverse groups. Design features like multilingual signage, sensory-friendly areas, and culturally relevant programming will allow residents to feel more included in their communities and bring their traditions and voice to those spaces. And consider these global examples of preserved cultural identity amidst development.
Japan stands as a paragon in this regard. Its careful preservation of historical districts amid modern development exemplifies respect for cultural heritage while embracing contemporary life. Similarly, in New Zealand, urban landscapes incorporate indigenous Maori designs while celebrating and keeping alive the rich traditions of its native people. These examples illustrate urban spaces can indeed be melting pots where history, culture, and modernity coexist and enrich each other.
Businesses play an integral part into urban development and design. Businesses should be curated for the urban spaces that they are a part of. The types of businesses that are included in these areas can impact the street life and the appeal of walkability in those spaces. The ground floor level should have retail, food, and business space commercially viable and creates a good experience for consumers. Not only are these businesses hand-selected to integrate, but their look and feel should match, a design choice that makes the street life safe, aesthetic, and organizes places of belonging. Businesses should be a viable option for the community that it's entering. Urban planners should ensure that competition is not too fierce in urban spaces and that all companies have a chance to thrive. As the architecture of a community is important, the business's marketing materials and overall store design are an important part of urban development. Businesses should have a unique look and feel that supports the other aspects of the community. Policy design is vital to allowing development to occur in urban areas. The requirements for urban planning and development are constantly evolving, and to improve spaces for communities, we need policies that are specifically designed to support them. Policies can help to achieve goals like equity and inclusion in communities. Some widespread examples of this that are necessary are sanitation and public health laws, housing laws, accessibility laws, and improved transportation laws. Innovation is taking place with more radical reforms like the mandatory inclusionary housing and the Tacoma Education Project to utilize design thinking to develop urban spaces to meet our current needs. Policy is also deeply connected to the progress being made with sustainability and sustainable cities. With the rise of sustainable development, new policies are looking at how design can be used to guide land use, zoning, settlement areas, and social equity so that people are able to live healthier in their communities. An example of this is renewable energy mandates and carbon pricing mechanisms. Policies are needed to help drive positive change in the environment as cities continue to grow. This also supports the UN's Sustainable Development Goal of sustainable cities and communities. By designing policies that further sustainability, we can help reach these goals.